Early sessions, typically in the first, second, or other early sessions. So this is a quick overview of what we're going to cover. During the initial stages of coaching, the focus is on exploring the client's values, visions, purpose, and priorities. The coach will refer to all of those in subsequent sessions to elicit motivation. During early sessions, the coach also needs to explore the client's understanding of their health and wellness status to ensure that the goals being set are not overly ambitious or premature. When choosing an area of focus, the coach is not the expert in deciding the most appropriate course of action. Instead, the power shifts to the client to select an area that feels important, motivating, or timely. So this is just a quick index of what we're going to cover today from 1.31 to 1.38. 1.3, have the client assess the current state of their health and wellness, well-being, client state of health and well-being, make the initial focus on the here and now and self-discovery, tools that health coaches can use to heighten client self-awareness of their current state of health, explore the client's vision of their optimal health and well-being, exploring the feasible goals, motivation for change, protocol for helping clients develop a wellness vision, practical exercises to help clients develop a wellness vision examples. And then identifying gaps between the current state and the client's desired lifestyle and outcomes, coaching to the gap, motivational interviewing, when setting goals, under promise rather than over promise, exploring and clarifying the client's preference for priority areas of focus, the difference between areas of focus, goals, and action steps, establish or refine the client's specific long-term goals that lead toward desired outcomes, why action steps are important, helping clients who are not ready to set wellness goals, defining goals, early success is critical, the 4 steps to goal setting, qualities associated with effective wellness goals, establish or refine the client's short-term SMART goals or action steps that the client will accomplish between sessions. SMART goals don't minimize the importance of baby steps. Support the client in achieving the SMART goals or action steps, including backup plans, adjusting action steps as needed, and establishing the client's preferences for learning and maintaining accountability. So now we begin with the 1.3.1. Have the client assess the current state of their health and well-being. Client states of health and well-being. Before goal setting begins, it is necessary to conduct a wellness assessment of the client's current state of health to determine where they want to go in terms of their health. The assessment includes the various aspects of physical health and any associated dietary and exercise limitations, and the person's self-image, coping skills, social activities, and support system, and degree of satisfaction with life. Formal assessment tools, when used as intended, can be very informative. However, as discussed in Model 1.2.5 on how assessments can help you become a better coach, they also have limitations. Coaches must address inconsistencies and omissions in the client's answers, whether inadvertently or intentionally. The best way for a coach and client to discover what is going on inside and out is to ask powerful questions beyond what the assessment instruments indicate or suggest. Ask questions to help clear the gaps and ambiguities in the client's responses to an assessment instrument. Still so are probing questions of a more general nature, such as the following. In what areas of your life do you want to make changes? What factors lead to your success when trying to make changes in your life? What causes you to get stuck when trying to make changes? How do you deal with disappointments and failures? How would you like me as your coach to help you when you get stuck and don't feel you can achieve your goals? What will be the likely outcome of participating in a health coaching program? What would be the ideal outcome of your health coaching experience? Allowing clients to answer these questions will reveal what forces have held them back. It will also help to determine the focus during upcoming coaching sessions. It will also strengthen the coaching relationship by showing clients that you are on their side and want to help them help themselves to make progress. Make the initial focus on the here and now and self-discovery. Many people who sign up for health coaching know they need help, but are not clear about the point from which they will be starting their journey. So when they complete the assessment instruments and answer the coach's early questions, they provide their coach with important information about themselves and enable self-discovery. It is commendable when a client is ready and highly motivated to start coaching. The last thing you want to do as a coach is dampen that enthusiasm. However, the client's initial focus of attention needs to be on the present rather than fixated on desired goals for the distant future. They need to take stock of their lives and their honest answers to the questions on the assessment instrument and the additional ones posed by the coach to facilitate the process. However, the coach must be careful not to inhibit the self-exploration process by adopting a coach knows best approach or coming across as a client as judgmental. It is not the coach's job to diagnose and treat, but rather to listen intently to what clients are telling you so you can guide them accordingly on the path towards improved self-awareness and positive behavioral change. Tools that the health coach can use to heighten clients' self-awareness of their current state of health. Each of the following methods has advantages and disadvantages associated with it. That is why health coaches utilize various techniques to elicit initial information from their clients about the current state of their health rather than relying on a single method exclusively. Number one is the wellness assessment. Model 1.2.5 discuss formal assessments. They are potentially beneficial to the coach and client alike because they provide a quantifiable baseline against which the client's progress can be evaluated at different time intervals. They also give clients feedback about critical aspects of their health, including areas where they might have had no previous knowledge that a problem existed. In that sense, wellness assessments can serve as a valuable educational tool. Another advantage of wellness assessments is that the clients can complete the written form at their leisure. Clients would probably feel overwhelmed if you were to ask that many questions verbally during a coaching session. Knowing that they can complete the form at home, stop at any point, and answer the remaining questions later is much less stressful. Of course, wellness assessments are helpful only to the extent that the client answers the questions truthfully. Some clients might be more willing to disclose information about themselves on a written questionnaire than being directly interrogated by a coach they have just met. For others, the desire to present a good picture of themselves to their coach might override the importance of answering all of the questions thoroughly and honestly. Reassuring clients that you won't judge them or think any less of them based on the results and that you won't reveal the answers to anyone might encourage them to be more forthcoming. Health coaches can choose from dozens of wellness assessments to give their new clients. The following two deserve a special mention because they use a wheel divided into different categories to assess various aspects of physical, mental, and emotional health. So this goes on to explain the wheel of life. I didn't include a picture. Most of you have seen it, I'm assuming. Many health coaches ask new clients to complete an instrument called the wheel of life. The coach presents the client with a diagram in the shape of a wheel or pie chart divided into equal-sized sectors, each labeled with different areas of life. The task is to rate one's level of satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10 in each area. Different forms of the wheel of life vary slightly in how the various categories are worded. Some coaches prefer to treat family and friends as two separate categories, which results in a wheel with 9 sectors rather than 8. The reason is that an individual's level of satisfaction might be high about friends, but low concerning family relationships, or vice versa. Evaluating the two categories independently gives a more accurate picture. The wheel of life is completed in the following manner. Consider the center of the wheel as 0 and the outer edge is a 10, and in each sector, rank the level of satisfaction in the corresponding area of life by drawing a straight or curved line to create a new outer edge. When each wheel sector is completed in this manner, the outer rim of the newly created circle, unlike the perimeter of the original circle, will be jagged. However, if the appearance of this completed wheel of life is unsettling, it has nothing to do with the person's artistic skill. It simply reflects the poor balance in the degree of satisfaction derived from the different individual life components. The completed Wheel of Life provides clients with a solid visual graphic. It also individualizes the health and wellness needs of each client specifically. It drives home the message that physical health and satisfaction with one's life are essential considerations in assessing an individual's overall health and wellness. Ideally, a person's wheel will be well balanced among the different areas of life. A lack of balance will indicate those areas of life where dissatisfaction could contribute to that person's current health problems, such as an excessive weight gain. However, coaches must exercise caution in deciding whether or not to use the Wheel of Life. It probably works best with relatively well-adjusted individuals and has a high degree of satisfaction in at least some areas of their lives. It's used with clients who already have a low self-image and are dissatisfied with most aspects of their lives, can exacerbate their feelings of inadequacy. Integrative health and wellness assessment. The IHWA wheel incorporates the following 8 categories of wellness: life balance and satisfaction, relationships, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, which includes nutrition, exercise, weight management, environmental, and health responsibility. The instrument is available in either a short form or long form. The short form is recommended version for the health coaches to use with new clients. The short form consists of 29 statements organized by category. The client rates themselves about the frequency of that behavior on a scale of 1, which means never, to 5, always. Biometric measures include the client's weight, body mass, blood pressure, glucose, and cholesterol levels, etc. As important as these measures are, they don't tell the whole story of someone's state of health. Health coaches need to evaluate biometric measurements in the context of other information that the client provides. 1.3.2.
Sorry, Sandra,
Yeah.
Sandra, can I just ask a question? It
Yeah.
just went a little bit fast. Can you go back to the short form and long form? I just want to make sure.
Right here?
Yeah, so this is the nursing coach book. Is that correct?
I don't know it as a nursing coach book, but this is the information that I got from the school that I attended.
Okay. I have it right in front of me. I'm just going to confirm. I'll just look up the page or so.
Okay.
So which form should we be using as health coaches? Should we be?
It says the short form is the recommended version for the new clients.
Okay.
And the short form consists of 29 statements.
Okay, it is. It's this is the book.
Organized by category.
This is the book.
Nurse
and
coaching.
It has the assessment in it. And it's, yeah, page 111. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Any other?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Hello, Sandra.
Hi, Holly.
Yes, I'm a bit confused and perhaps I missed part of this. Is this from a PDF on the website that you're reviewing, or did you take time to type this up on your own and share it with us? I'm really struggling to gain traction here as to what resources are which, and if you can just clarify this for me, that'd be great.
Yeah. The school that I attended, I asked them, could I use their slides like that we learned from, and they said I couldn't use them, but I could use their text. So I got all their text, put it on just a Word document and just did the, bolding, highlighting, and underlying. And this is so there's some parts that it's more like teaching, which is maybe a lot of things that everyone knows again, but it doesn't hurt to review. And then there's the parentheses where it does mention some areas of, the author of the book, the pages.
So it's your information for the cohort for the competencies 1.1 through 1.
It's all of 1.3, which
1.
is like
3.
Yeah, it's all of 1.3, which has like 8 sections.
Okay. And do you mind if I ask how many books you're pulling from?
I didn't put it together in that way. So there's different books. It's mainly, they mentioned in the beginning of this recording 3. I think there's mainly like
Mhm.
4. There was
Yeah.
another one that wasn't mentioned. It's
Okay,
mainly those.
thank you.
So I'm
You're
gonna
welcome.
jump in because TJ Woods put a great message in the chat. And that is the fact that this is in the 2020 content outline that was stated, that is specifically in the nursing book, pages 111 through 116, and also 434 to 435. So thank you so much, because this does tie into exactly what the National Board provided for people to study back in 2020. They're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I just finished this course in February. Was it February? And then I did like my 50 hours, took my time with my 50 hours, and now I'm just studying it. So it's all fresh. So everything should be, up to date, accurate. So I'm glad that you were able to check the pages, refer to that book as a nursing book, and show the actual cover and confirm that the pages are correct. So thank you for that. Yeah, and at any point, I'm just, stop me. I could stop at each competency and ask if anyone has questions before going on.
That would be wonderful, because I know you just finished, I believe,
Is my reading
1.3.2.
pace too fast? Should I slow down? Yeah, I'm going to start right here. So just slow down a little bit. Is that the majority? Yeah, okay. I'm always thinking about the time, but thank you for that. Okay, so we're at 1.3.2, explore the client's vision of their optimal health and well-being. So exploring feasible goals. Once the coach and client have built a good sense of rapport and trust, the coach supports the client in developing a compelling vision that reflects what they want to accomplish. Health coaches can encourage their clients to tap into their unique strengths and talents to reinforce the mindset that their goals are attainable. Avoid spending a lot of time focusing on the obstacles that have held the client back and analyzing what caused them. Focus instead on the importance of staying positive and valuing one's strengths. Having a positive mindset facilitates productive activities like brainstorming, finding new possibilities, and mobilizing resources for meeting and overcoming challenges. During the early stages of the coaching process, when clients might feel overwhelmed by the newness of the program and the complex challenges facing them, it is vital for you as a coach to show empathy for their emotions. But you need to do more and express confidence in their ability to succeed. Motivation for change. Setting attainable goals is essential, but having compelling reasons behind these goals will help the client stay on track. For example, a client might want to lose 20 pounds, but the reasons for wanting to lose the excess weight must be strong enough to stay focused in the face of challenges and obstacles. If the only motivator is to please another person, or that it is something they should do, the motivation isn't strong enough to sustain action to achieve success. Coaches can help their clients increase motivation for change by asking questions like the following. What is this goal? Why is this goal important to you? What results do you hope to achieve? Where do you see yourself currently in this area of your life? What motivators would encourage you to move forward? What sources of support do you have to help you on your journey? What would your life be like if you could achieve your goal? What new possibilities have you not considered before that you are open to exploring now? Protocol for helping clients develop a wellness vision. The following is the protocol that the authors of The Psychology of Coaching recommend for health and wellness coaches to help their clients embark on their journey. It starts by developing and visualizing a viable wellness goal that is important to them. Values, explain how creating a wellness vision, health promoting behaviors that the client wants to practice consistently can be helpful. What's working now? Ask about areas of their current success in taking care of their health and well-being. Strengths, get clients to name the strengths, qualities they have that they are proud of. Thrive, ask clients what makes them feel alive. Ask what is important to them personally right now. What aspects of their health and wellness do they wish to improve? Motivation. What are the client's motivators or driving forces behind the desire to make specific changes? Visualize. Ask clients to describe their vision of what they would like and feel like at their ideal level of wellness. Past success. Inquire about previous positive experiences related to the client's vision. Strengths. To realize their vision, ask clients what strengths and values they can draw on to help them realize their vision. Major challenges hurting confidence. Discuss with each client that the challenges they anticipate along the way that they are afraid they can't handle. Express empathy and talk through possible ways of dealing with these challenges. Strategies. Brainstorm together and explore strategies, people, and resources to help clients successfully navigate significant challenges. Recap. Reflect and summarize the client's vision based on what they've said. Collaborate on the essence of the vision in meaningful and compelling ways. Commit. Ask the client to restate and commit to the vision. Practical exercises to help clients develop a wellness vision. One of the many benefits of wellness assessments is that the results pinpoint the areas of health and wellness where an individual needs to improve, which the clients could incorporate into their wellness vision. The assessment results are often consistent with the advice already given by the client's medical provider, but perhaps the client didn't take it seriously enough to act upon it. Seeing that the wellness assessment identifies the same types of health risks drives home that the client must not ignore them, and they are accurate. However, some clients might either still be in denial or feel so overwhelmed by multiple health problems that they are lost as to what to make their initial focus. How to Be a Health Coach by Jordan contains some valuable tips to help clients who are not pressed for time develop a wellness vision if they don't already have. These are some ways that you can go about that. By journal and log the client's wellness vision. Ask the client if they currently have a wellness vision, and if so, write it down. If not, the following exercise may help them formulate one. Make a list of the top 10 things they love to do. Draw the vision. Draw a series of concentric circles and write ME in the center circle. Then in the circle closest to the center, write the names of the people who are nearest and most important to them. Then add more names in the outer circles: family, friends, coworkers, professional groups, people in the community, etc. Also make a list of qualities they look for in their support system. Describe the vision verbally. Write 1 or 2 sentences to describe the vision of the kind of world they want to live in. And list of in the zone. List and briefly describe at least a dozen instances when they were in the zone and had a sense of purpose. Review. Review and underline the key words and phrases. See which words, phrases, and themes come up repeatedly and incorporate them into a brief statement. 2 to 4 sentences of the life purpose. Clients will have to make a significant lifestyle change to realize their life purpose, but first they need to ask themselves what their current life is like concerning their life purpose. Then have them prioritize 5 health and wellness areas in which they want to improve, and of those 5, choose one to which they are eager and ready to commit to making the initial focus. The preceding exercise will take a while, but here is a quick but powerful activity describing the psychology of coaching that can help clients develop a personally meaningful wellness vision they can commit to. The following exercise should take only 5 to 10 minutes.
Sandra?
Yep.
I have a question. It's Claire.
Yes.
So we talked about this when the session started today,
Mhm.
as people were coming in,
Yes.
and this is pretty lengthy in this book, How to Be a Health and Wellness Coach, what you just put together. I'm
Mhm.
just want to ask the group, has anyone done these exercises with their client, and what was their experience? This lengthier one, this like the 10 love practice and the concentric circles.
I have not. I pretty much just asked them, where are they gonna, what do they see themselves in 5 years? What does that look like? What do you see yourself doing? Who's around you? You know, those type of questions. If you wave a magic wand, you know, have anything
Yeah.
you want,
Yeah.
something like that. But I've never used any of those.
Yeah, that's what we were trained to do, like because we've been trained to do these 20-minute sessions in our coaching. And so I feel like these these are really, these are great. They're in depth, and they get much more at the personal side of people. Like I've done the wheel and we've done those assessments, but I really love this and I want to use this week. So I'm going to practice it on a client. I just didn't know if anybody had some experience with it.
I've done visualizations, I've done the breathing, and a lot of the ones that just were mentioned now. I mean, they've always enjoyed them. When I did some hours with some peer coaching, I'd ask them, I'd, like how it was for them, what feedback they had, and they always said it helped them, get into the moment of it. But like you said, if it's only a 20-minute session, it's a little hard to do. But if you have a longer session, then I think it does help to set the tone.
Slavka has a question now. Slavka, can you ask it?
Hi, I just wanted to jump in and say that that's a good point, Claire, that when we do in a training passing exam, we like this like a 25 or 30 minutes, but at doing any of these exercises takes at least a 45 minutes of a session. So it's just impossible to practice anything of this value and intensity in this little like our practice coaching.
Yeah, great.
So I just think that, practice that and extending a session to 45 minutes if you find a client that is going to benefit, because not everybody's really open to them, what I find from personal practice.
Well, if anybody would like to do this as a practice session on each other, I'd be very open to that. And you could just DM me. And
Okay.
we could play
I would
around.
like to. I feel that those are great.
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks, Slav.
I'm wondering too, as you're talking, if it's come up many times in all these conversations of sometimes clients come when they don't know what to talk about, they don't know, and so you can ask them like, well, what would you like to feel, and try to get. But I'm wondering if doing one of these longer exercises could be plugged into a session like that when a client kind of doesn't know or is just like all over the place. If you asked permission about doing one of these longer exercises, that might be a good time to introduce it and to bring it in. I don't know how other people see it, but that just came to my mind.
You can go ahead and continue on,
Okay.
Sandra.
Would you like me to continue to read this?
Actually, for this one, I think a lot of people have it. So,
Yeah.
we instead of doing the whole step by step of that, but you can do the wellness vision example.
Okay, thought so. Thank you. Okay, so the wellness vision examples. There are no hard and fast rules for creating and wording of wellness vision. The client writes it in the present tense. Even though the client isn't there yet, the client pictures the future. The following are two examples of possible wellness visions taken from the psychology of coaching. One is, my wellness vision is to have healthy eating habits and set a good example for my children. I exercise regularly to delay aging and preserve my ability to function well in my older years. I look better and I feel useful. Number two, I have plenty of strength and stamina to play energetically with my grandchildren. I am in charge of my health and feel greater well-being and contentment. I am a non-smoker for good and enjoy life to the fullest. As in the previous examples, the client's wellness visions incorporate the desired outcomes and the behaviors needed to accomplish them. In other words, what clients need is both willpower and way power. Identifying
Okay,
gaps.
so since you finished 1.3.2,
Mhm.
does anybody have any questions? I do have a different slide that I'm going to show you that recaps everything that Sandra said. But if you're a visual person, it might kind of help you. And it's definitely like on the Google site. So does anybody else have any questions before I share this?
No.
So. Okay, so Sandra, if you can let me share my screen. Okay, it is gonna let me share my screen real quick.
So do I say stop sharing and so that you can share?
It might take over, let's see.
Because I do have that
Oops.
option.
Are you guys seeing the wrong screen? Okay, good. Okay, so this is pretty much what Sandra just it explored for us here, which was
So-
after building trust and rapport. Can you guys see that 1.3.2?
I can't see anything because I'm still sharing my
Oh.
screen. Do I have to click stop sharing so that yours can be shown?
Yeah, do that
Okay.
then.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. Thank you, Sandra. Can you guys see the screen now?
Yes.
Yep.
1.3.2, explore client's vision.
Yes. So this is, I actually had this up while Sandra was talking because I'm a little bit more visual and she put a little bit more meat into this. So she really, the key takeaways that I saw here was, after building trust rapport, developing the vision, your clear goals equals happiness and life satisfaction. Your clear vision is to enhance well-being and increased hope. So an example test question could possibly be, why do you want to set a clear vision? Is it to A, provide happiness and is it to provide happiness and life satisfaction? B, is it to have something to talk about during your sessions? C, is it to enhance well-being and increased hope? Or D, is it so that you know where they want to go in the future? The answer would obviously be C, right? So just trying to bring this back into like some test questions. The helpful things in here is always exactly what she stated, to connect your vision with an experience, values, appreciative inquiries, outcomes, behaviors, motivations, motivators, strengths, and structures. And what you don't want to do is analyze or overanalyze obstacles, barriers, setbacks, challenges, if they're a problem to solve. Because right now, this is all about their vision and their optimal health, well-being. We keep that on the positive. So I did have a sample text question that someone asked before, and it was one of the national board. I don't remember the wording of it, but it had something to do with setting their vision. And some of the questions or answers were something about ask what the obstacle could be, what obstacles could get in the way or whatever. And I was going back and forth because all of those sound good, but when I realized it was a vision question, the answer was always going to be what would be possible if you did blank. So it was what would be the possible outcome. So something to keep in mind when you're doing the test questions. So she did this as an overview, and then Sandra did a great job and went specifically into this on page 131 on what's working now, your strengths, your thrive, importance, motivations, visualize, past successes. She went over every one of these. So if you're a visual person, these are definitely on the Google Drive. It's a previous presentation. So if you can see this and go through it better, I do love the fact that Sandra really gave us meat and examples with every one of these. So thank you so much. So I'm actually going to stop sharing, and I want you to bring back to be your 1.33. But does anybody else have any questions now that I brought that in a different aspect?
I have a
Okay.
question. I have a question.
Go ahead.
When I'm looking at the 1.3.2, explore the client's vision, wellness protocol. For me, these are just topics, right? I mean, this is basically you're going to be walking the client through seeing their future, but these are just topics. I'm trying to imagine how this would be a test question, because it's really you providing an exercise with the client to imagine their future self. So I'm kind of struggling with test questions. Even though you went through some, it's just not sticking for me.
Can anybody else think of, so,
I kind of, what I like what you said, Sherry, was about how when this section 1.3 is all about the beginning sessions, right? And so if you incorporate a visualization, if you're helping the client to get to their wellness vision and visualize it, what you were saying, Sherry, is like keep it all positive. Like don't bring in anything that has to do with the obstacles. Is there any way of that? Keep it all positive so that they can visualize their ideal self. And so I think it is a lot of like you said, you know, a lot of information, but I think the point is that you just work with the client to continue different ways to bring that vision to life, keeping it positive. And then, so therefore, if there is a question on the test about wellness visions, that's like the takeaway. I mean, I haven't taken a test, so obviously can answer it back.
No, thank you. I
better,
can
but that's
see
kind of
that.
what I got from what you were saying.
Yeah. Thank you.
so, yeah.
I can
and-
think of what I could see a potential question, Dr. G. So maybe a question would be something around a scenario where you've walked through building a vision with your client, and then it gives some like an A, B, C, and D of what would be the coach's next step. Coach responds, how does this tie into your values? Or what's a strength that's going to help you move towards this vision? And then C would be, do you see any obstacles getting in this way? And so that would be the wrong answer because you want to avoid hurting their confidence with an obstacle. So I could see that being a potential question that could tie into this section. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's helpful. I see where that would be taking away from the overall exercise of thinking of the future and yeah, it's not the time for delving into obstacles. And yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree, Jamie. And that's why with like the visual thing that I pulled up, I was able to think of a question a little easier because I could see a lot of different answers, like what, you know, who or what makes them thrive, like what's their support, and to be able to pull that in. So in terms of questions, being able to know when you're working on their vision and their protocol, wellness protocol, just being able to know, you know, what strengths that they could be utilized to realize their vision, what are previous or positive past successes when you're going over them, to reflect and summarize what you heard the client say about their vision, and ask the client to state and commit to their vision. And, you know, from the very beginning that we've had Sandra specified that to put it in the present tense, I could totally see that being some type of test question, you know, and, you know, what's working now. So I do know that whenever I was going through some test questions before, and I was asking myself questions on why is this the correct answer and why is this one the incorrect answer, I was like, okay, what would be possible if you did this? Or how it kind of went back to this explore the client's vision. And it's like, okay, that's actually the first thing that you have to do. So that has to be the right answer. So yeah. Does anybody have any more before we let Sandra continue to 1.3.3? Okay, go ahead and go, Sandra.
Okay. I just remembered I had some worksheets with some questions, so I was looking for them. Oh, go ahead. I might have some in there.
Do you have anything on this screen? I can't see anything.
Yeah, I did put, it's just the white with the wording, what I was originally reading. Do you have to do anything, Sherry? Cause I went back to sharing my screen, but I don't know if there's anything that you needed to do.
I stopped sharing my screen. Can everybody, it says you're viewing Sandra's screen. Does everybody else see it? 1.3.3?
I can see it. Maybe
Yes, I can see
if you try at the top where it says view options, maybe if you change your view options.
Yeah, when I
just says-
changed my view options, I saw it. Well,
I
I
can-
slide it over. I'm sorry.
It just says fit to window or original size
It's
for
a
viewing
window.
options. I don't see anything but a black screen.
Is it, are you on your phone or is it on?
No, I'm on a computer and I saw it before,
You were seeing it before.
but I don't see it now. Am I the only one who doesn't see anything? Maybe I should sign out and come back in.
If you do, I'll let you right back in. And while she is doing this, I can say that that one, okay, looks like most people can see it. So it does look like, oh, Teresa, you can't see it either. So yeah, I'm not sure why. Oh no, Teresa can see it. Sorry. So yeah, I think it is just you. So if you want to pop out, I'll totally let you right back in. So you can go ahead and continue, Sandra.
Yeah, found those questions. All right. So identifying the gaps between the current state and the client's desired lifestyle outcomes. The book Wellness Coaching for a Lasting Lifestyle Change uses the term coaching to the gap. The gap is between where the client is now and where the client wants to be. But before work intended to bridge that gap can begin, ask the client this question. What do you have to change to get there? For example, one of your clients has diabetes and is also overweight. She tells you that she wants to feel better and have more energy to travel. Simply wishing for this improvement in her health won't make it happen, but the discussions you have during coaching sessions can help her realize that she needs to commit to specific behavioral changes, including adhering to the diet and exercise plan advised by her doctor, attaining a healthier weight, and alleviating stress. The health coach can facilitate learning and results through attentive listening and using the client's wellness vision as a starting point for asking powerful questions. These questions get the client to analyze important health goals from a new perspective. Instead of being mirrored in inertia, the individual becomes aware of the problem and experiences that aha moment that leads to action. Motivational interviewing is a beneficial coaching technique with clients who are aware of their health risks but ambivalent about committing to doing something about them. Two clinical psychologists, William Miller and Stephen Rolnick, in the course of their work with substance abusers, termed the phrase motivational interviewing. Since then, the method has been used extensively in clinical settings. Hundreds of articles describe MI as an effective evidence-based means for facilitating challenging behavior change. The basic principles of MI can be summarized as follows: explore the client's reasons for change, show empathy for what the client may be feeling, identify discrepancies between the client's stated wishes and actual behavior, accept resistance on the client's part as a natural reaction, believe in the client's ability to change and support self-efficacy without resorting to preaching, acknowledge change talk, conclude that the client is moving towards change as a sign of progress, encourage the client to take control and make self-directed choices, ask open-ended questions whenever possible rather than those that can be answered with a simple yes or no, avoid asking why to satisfy your curiosity. Have clients periodically rate their progress on a numerical scale on a specific behavioral change, 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Avoid taking on the role of an expert who places their agenda ahead of the client's and doesn't respect the client's ideas. When setting goals, under promise rather than over promise. Setting specific plans and timelines is crucial because it helps to ensure accountability. However, it is counterproductive to get so carried away with the desire for improved health and wellness that one sets goals and timelines for attaining them. The likely result is disappointment and further loss of self-esteem when the hope for results are not forthcoming. A much better approach is for the client to under-promise or set goals a little lower than they expect to achieve. Any questions there before I go on to 1.3.4?
No, I do have the other thing that really just brings it up as a visual, if anybody's interested in seeing that. I'm gonna just share that real quick if we could switch for just a
Yep,
second.
I'll stop sharing. Yep.
You guys see that now? Okay, yeah, it says you guys can see my screen. Okay, so pretty much to sum up what she said, this is going a lot from the MI book, but using open questions, allowing the client to talk more than you talk, doing the focusing, exploring your pros and cons, use your well-being assessments. If there's any incomplete answers, but you do have to have a fine line, plus maybe it's nothing that they want to talk to you about. And then I really did like this, which pretty much focused in, and this will actually go into the reflections that somebody will be doing on the next one when we do 2.4 through 2. I think it's on 2.5, but realizing identifying gaps. There's 4 powerful MI reflections that you can use to be able to pull those out. And I think that may be it just touched that a little bit. I think that may be all that it had on, the 1.3.3. And then it also had this in the coaching psychology manual, obviously on page 84 to 85. And I'm just going to share this in our chat. So if you don't I like hearing everything Sandra says, but I'm visual. So I'm pulling this one up as she's reading hers, and it's all kind of sinking in my brain a little better. So I'm just going to share that link in the chat. So as Sandra's talking, I'm looking at those slides and listening to her speak. And I feel like I'm getting a lot more out of it. So if you're visual like me, then maybe you'll like that. So I'm going to stop sharing because I want to Sandra to continue.
Okay. One point 3.4, explore and clarify the client's preferences for priority areas of focus. For wellness coaching to produce a successful outcome, there needs to be a natural progression from determining focus areas to setting goals to taking action steps. The 3 terms, areas of focus, goals, and action steps, are often used interchangeably, but they are not the same. The difference between areas of focus, goals, and action steps. Focus areas are specific aspects of behavior the client wishes to change or improve. On the other hand, goals are measurable achievements that can take a short or long time to achieve. The client determines which areas they want to change and then sets steps to accomplish these goals. Goals describe what the client would like to achieve to have better health and wellness. Action steps refer to the movement or activity one takes to achieve the goal. The client will likely succeed when the action steps are split into small, specific steps. Plunging into action without first identifying the focus areas will result in a lack of direction, leading to discouragement. Should I continue? That was a short section.
Yeah, I think that was good. If you guys wanted to, I sent that link so you guys can all pull it up on your own. So I'll just let you go ahead and do that, and we'll let you go ahead and continue to 1.3.5.
Okay. Which is establish or refine the client's specific long-term goals that lead toward desired outcomes. Health coaches can help their clients determine their long and short-term wellness goals, but the goals still need to come from the clients themselves. The coach does not impose them. Practical goal setting requires a thoughtful approach to understanding, and the client should expect some missteps and restarts. Meanwhile, each small goal the client meets towards a primary long-range goal is also a significant accomplishment. Goals are necessary for all the following reasons. Without goals, it is hard to determine whether or not the client has accomplished success. Goals direct the person's attention and effort towards goal-relevant activities and away from activities that are not. Goals are energizing. They produce more persistent, prolonged effort. And goals often lead to discovery and use of task-related knowledge and strategies. Why action steps are important. Some clients might be eager for a total makeover as soon as possible and want to plunge into action steps immediately, which is a mistake. Taking on too much and making radical behavior changes at once is a recipe for failure. Furthermore, in the absence of any clear underlying reasons or motivations for making the necessary behavioral changes, even the slightest roadblocks could quickly derail the client from the program. All the previously hard work will then be in naught. That is why having a specific area of focus is so important. The areas of focus give clients the reasons for wanting to take action. For example, one focus area might be attaining and maintaining a healthy weight. If a sedentary lifestyle has probably contributed to that person's recent weight increase, one important wellness goal might be to get more exercise. Walking for 30 minutes 3 times each day could be an action step to which the client is willing to commit to getting more exercise. The areas of focus need to be specific. Use tools like described in the wellness wheel and other wellness assessments, lab results, and physicians' recommendations to help clients identify the areas they want to work on first. The specific area becomes the starting point for the client's wellness plan. Recommends prioritizing a maximum of 5 health areas, preferably 3 to 4. It is best to start with areas where the client's readiness for change is already high. You may feel that a specific health area needs to be addressed sooner rather than later, but if the client doesn't feel likewise, don't push it. Let the client set the priorities for the areas of focus. Helping clients who are not ready to set wellness goals. However, according to the trans-theoretical model of change, just as readiness for change is essential in determining focus areas, behavioral goals also need to be tailored to the individual stage of readiness for change. If a client is only at stage 1 or 2, moving too quickly into action steps will be counterproductive. A better approach would be for the health coach to spend more time inquiring and listening to help the client get into a mindset whereby developing realistic and attainable goals to which they are ready to commit will become naturally. Using the principle of motivational interviewing, the health coach can pose some of the following recommended questions to clients who are still at an early stage of readiness for change to help them set appropriate goals. What were your best experiences with health and wellness? What are the core values you try to abide by in your life? In what type of environment do you feel most energized? What can you do to improve your health and wellness? What are the pros and cons of changing versus not changing your behavior? What would perfect health feel like to you? So, defining goals. The book How to Be a Health Coach by Jordan identifies 3 different types of goals. Performance goals are goals that can be measured objectively. Learning goals, goals measured either externally by feedback from others or internally. Fulfillment goals, goals measured by the individual's sense of satisfaction or fulfillment. In each instance, measuring the degree of success towards reaching the goal at different time points is of prime importance. Clients need to be held accountable for their progress in achieving the goals that they have set for themselves. They can help clients determine whether or not the long-term health goal they propose is likely to work for them by asking them the following questions. What do you need to change to be able to reach this goal? How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 10 that you can reach this goal? What kind of support will you need? Example, money, skills, knowledge, resources, allies, circumstances, and environment. How much time do you think you will need to reach the goal? How will you track your progress? Early success is critical. Some clients might be quite ready to work on one health and wellness area, example, changing their diet, but not on another, example, increasing daily exercise. It is essential, especially initially, to set goals that will produce success. As progress starts towards achieving the goal, this increases the client's self-confidence and instills confidence in what the coaching process can do for them. Experiencing success early on in achieving one goal will help clients move forward with other goals. In other words, success builds self-efficacy and self-esteem. Nothing hinders the change process more than setting unrealistic and unachievable goals. Goal setting is a four-step process consisting of the following. Step 1, goal identification. For the client to succeed, goals need to be defined early in the coaching session. It is easy to put off making the necessary effort due to the lack of immediate results. The focus is placed on small, clearly defined, short-term goals that the client can achieve. They have a higher success rate than general intentions if they are also challenging enough to motivate and provide satisfaction. They will give the client the confidence to set and achieve other goals. Positive statements are preferable to negative ones. For example, I will use low sodium seasonings on my dinner and entree is a better goal than saying I will avoid salt. The latter focuses on what is missing in the diet and might make one feel like their diet deprives them of the flavors they like. It is easier to do and continue to do something positive than to avoid doing something negative. Lastly, the client always writes goals down as a constant reminder. If goals are not working, the client can modify goals for whatever reason. So we have about 5 minutes left, right? Because we're ending at 8:30. Do you want me to skip some of it, go to another
Yeah.
section, or just to continue?
Just read the step, like what you've got
Yeah.
bolded and underlined right here. I think is just
Okay.
perfect, and then we'll get through all these steps.
Yes, so acceptance of goals and assessing their importance. Then analyzing and overcoming obstacles would be step 3. Step 4 is goal implementation and monitoring. Qualities associated with effective wellness goals. There's some things there like wellness goals need to be all of the following to have a good chance of succeeding: realistic and attainable, capable of being met quickly enough to provide timely reinforcement, sufficiently motivated. Clients can picture themselves succeeding in that area, simple, specific, and to the point. Client generated, sufficiently challenging to bring out the client's best effort, but not so difficult that the client will be inclined to give up. So 1.36, establish or refine the client's short-term SMART goals or action steps that the client will accomplish between sessions. I know a lot of you already know about SMART goals. Another way to set goals is by using SMART goals. Be specific. Questions like who will be involved? What do you need to intend to accomplish? Where will the behavior take place? What is your time frame for achieving the goal? Which requirements and constraints are applicable? So forth. 2 is measurable, 3 is action-based, 4 is realistic, 5 is time-based. And don't minimize the importance of baby steps. There's some notes there. I can put this in the guides. So 1.3.7 is support the client in achieving the SMART goals or action steps, including backup plans. There are various things the coach can do to help the client. And then adjusting your action steps as needed. And then 1.3.8 is establish clients' preferences for learning and maintaining accountability. So as clients proceed in their stepwise progression towards meeting their wellness goals, they need to have a clear and well thought out way to track and monitor their progress each step of the way. So accountability. And things like have the clients focus on what is crucial for them and agree to be responsible for taking action, request action steps to enable clients to move towards their stated goals. Much different ways. There's some additional suggestions on what you as a coach can do to help clients be accountable for their progress. So there's, I know we have 2 minutes left, so just ending it with the quote, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. So, and like I said, I'll include this as in the guide for the areas that weren't read, so that
Yeah,
we can, you know, in the interest of time, end on time tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
I'll
Yeah,
stop sharing now.
Okay, yeah, that really helped because I was able to pull that up, and I think we had that we were supposed to do 1.4 and 1.5 tonight as well. So obviously we didn't have time for that. So we did talk. Sorry, I don't have my video camera on. There we go. We did talk about we will get this document and I'll add it to the Google Drive. And Sandra, when you put it on there, if you could add it to guide, so if you could go to guide 11 and then add it there.
I
So
will.
then that way it'll be there for all of us. And then
Yes.
I'll add it to mine. So the thing that I was showing everybody, it is in a previous cohort. I went through all of the old previous cohorts whenever I started. When I joined Casey's group here, probably in April, I started getting like, well, I saw some were in guides and others were hidden in some text message, or not text, but hidden in just the overall big, whatever it's called, the big discussion, whatever. So I just pulled that in and I put it in a Google Drive. I will go ahead and share a link with that in our chat now. And I'm going to stop the recording actually. So let me do that first.